All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Spice and Wolf, episode 9.
Ruvenhagen.
Ruvenhagen.
Indeed.
Yes. A city, a proper big city with beer.
And tariffs.
And honey
pickled pears and all
desserts,
of that good stuff.
Treats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If they're for sale,
Delectable
you're buying
delights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But complicit work between church and merchants, potentially leading to some things that seem suspect.
Yeah. And okay, we met that Nora shepherd girl and stuff, but that was just for that little bit. And then she went back to the church, so is that all we're gonna see of her? What's the deal there? And why is somebody looking for Lawrence?
Yeah, why is somebody looking for Lawrence? We should have to see. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
That girl will leave you at the drop of a hat.
I hope not. She's an investment.
Investing in a pretty woman never ends well, if you ask me.
Wow.
Before I forget, do you know of any merchants looking to go to Lomtra?
If you're thinking about the shepherd girl, don't.
Whoa.
Yeah.
She's the only one able to wander around the area without getting hurt. And I don't need to tell you how the church feels about that.
Yep, I was right.
Though I don't know why I'm wasting my breath, since we both know your bleeding heart sat for a lovely little thing like Nora. The Rowan Merchant Association is under protection of Saint Lombardos. I wish you the very best of luck.
Such an adorable pair of youths. The sweet talkers likened my looks to that of a red rose in bloom.
Wow.
Try not to humor them too much. Craftsman apprentices are like starving dogs.
I know not what kind of return it is you hope for, but I appreciate your continued investment in me. It would appear you have taken quite the liking to that fair-haired shepherd girl. How sad that I, on the other hand, am merely a transaction.
Now wait just a second. Jacob was just joking around. Baseless banter. Nora is a lovely girl. And yes, I'll admit, I didn't dislike my conversations with her.
And here I was, just trying to pass time by teaching you.
Yeah.
And you responded so sincerely. Males are all the same. They say what they want to get what they want. So, why not show me your fervor instead?
And buy me those.
Those honey pickled peaches I mentioned.
Yep.
You told me to ask cutely when I wanted something.
I told you to ask honestly. Not emotional manipulation.
Oh, do not be cross. There is no need to get angry. Your honeyed words really did make me happy.
I love them so much.
So, may I please hold your hand?
Yes. I can't risk you getting lost.
Of course. Oh, no fingers interlocking?
No. Just
they'd
the
have to
most
censor
basic
that.
stuff here, yeah?
Yeah.
My sheep. They're currently grazing in a dangerous area.
God has bestowed upon you the power to ward off the beast that would beset your tender flock. Do you not have faith in our Lord's blessing? Keep to it, and surely He, in all His wisdom, will keep you too.
So that you can eventually die in a tragic wolf attack, yes. Whatever that foul magic is, we will not be held to blame for what happened to you.
You said you are buying on credit, yes? If I'm not mistaken, that means you are currently in debt.
Well, if you're certain the product will sell, it's only good sense to bank on the return. For now, though, we just need to sell the goods we procured at the trading company across town. It's as easy as that.
Nice. Let's get it then.
Seems to be lively everywhere you look.
Oh my gosh! But that thing whole.
That is a
Got
big
peaches
tart.
and everything.
Yeah.
That pastry was supposed to be for my nourishment, I'll remind you.
Oh, were you wanting to enjoy some of this too? Oh. Here.
Here's your sliver.
It's not the day of rest. Is there a reason the warehouse is so quiet this morning?
Long story. I'm afraid it's, did you just arrive here in town today? Are you Lawrence? I'll take that as a yes. Lat Perone called in on us yesterday. They brought with them the news that your outstanding debt has been transferred to us. In light of the Northern Expedition being called off, armored goods have become practically worthless. To put it in simple terms, he's completely bankrupt.
Completely what?
They set me up for this.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
We are all of us beholden to the same rules of commerce. You understand.
Of course, Mr. Romero.
This is what we require you to pay. If you are unable to make this payment, we will be forced to ask the Rowan Merchant Association to assume the debt on your behalf. As for the armor you brought, what would you like to do with that? It won't fetch much, no matter where you choose to sell it.
It's all right. I'll find an eager buyer and settle up in 2 days.
We're gonna have to book it through the forest as fast as possible.
Let's go.
He might not even be allowed to leave the city.
Potentially, yeah. They might think he's like he'd be running
Trying to
away or
run,
something.
yeah.
Will you run?
I can't. The eyes of merchants' guilds are like the eyes of God.
Yeah.
If we tried to flee, we'd be found immediately the second we did any business.
Sure.
I have 2 days to make the money I owe. We'll just start anew.
Yep.
And you have hope
Trade
of
up.
the wise wolf. I will surely find means to help on the way. Fret not.
All right.
If necessary, I will ensure that you escape unscathed, even if I am forced to use this wheat.
Whoa.
Recall, you promised to take me all the way to the northern forest.
Yeah, yeah. So, a buyer for armor.
When nobody wants it.
Maybe if they could smelt it down.
But even then, it'd probably be a fraction.
Oh, totally, but you get something out of it.
Your countrymen may be of help in this time of need.
Indeed. So wait at the inn for me. Do you get what it means to take a woman back home?
Just tell them we are lovers and be done!
See, man has no game.
So then, what should I ask you about first? Let's see. We should begin with introductions.
Earlier, at Milone's Pozio branch, we were selling furs assessed at 140 trenny. But thanks to her acumen, we sold them for 210.
Considering the position you find yourself, if you had called this lady your wife, I was thinking of convincing her to get a divorce. Enough small talk.
Yeah.
It's time we discuss the matter.
Let's cook.
Let
You're
me
screwed.
Confirm the details. Quite frankly, you got greedy and have made a mistake.
Damn. Get good.
If you fall ill, if you should get hurt, if you're robbed, the Merchant Association would be happy to help you. And we'd do anything in our power to get you out of those kinds of trouble.
But willing and taking on debt. Yep.
And specifically more than you can manage.
Unfortunately, I have no room to play favorites in this situation. I must maintain a firm attitude regardless how I feel. And that's the reason I'm in this position. Furthermore, members in the association may not lend money to one another.
I was literally going to say that. Yep. Because that would solve it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your failure will become public the day after tomorrow. And when that happens, I'll have no choice but to detain you. If you fail, you will still have a future. Be sure of that. It'll be dark, painful, and oh so heavy.
Yeah.
We'll pay back 47 Lumion by
I translate.
a distance boat for the next decade of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You could also work in a mine. If there is
Let's figure this
anything
out.
I can do to help you, I will gladly do it. Go free. I should tie you up for the next 2 days, but I trust you. Do what you can till then.
So,
We're
1,300
fucked.
Trini silver, basically.
Yeah, basically.
1,300 and what was it? 70? 90?
Something like that.
I think it was 90.
Because that was what he was originally going to get for the pepper, but he wanted double that of credit, so...
Yeah. No.
Oh no, we're in montage land now.
Yep. I mean, let's move things along. Why don't we? Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Doesn't even go turn sure he's getting a little bit worried. Yeah.
Yep.
This way.
You're gonna have to leave the city, go to the forest. It's got to be that.
Here you go.
Shit.
Someone else.
Apologies. This form has less endurance than I would like.
Right. I am sorry.
You've been going door to door asking everybody for a loan, and a rather considerable one at that. I live my life in accordance with the word of the Lord, and I believe in showing others the same charity that they have shown me. But now, you're here with a woman in tow, and you're asking for the compassion of others to lend you money? Has Rowan trading sunk so low?
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit. He would have gotten help
Yep.
if Holo wasn't there.
You have gone so pale. Let us hie to the inn.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
Immediately is like,
No,
yeah.
I didn't want to say that. And she's been starting to feel that too.
Yep.
Before the guy even said anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just the idea of like,
I will go to the inn.
Yep.
Damn it.
nice. Yeah. No ED.
Okay.
Damn, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He's in debt. The armor market crashed.
Yep.
Rather abruptly and rather unfortunately.
And the
In a
margins
way-
weren't even going to be good in the first place.
Right, but in a way that was almost predicted. You know,
Yeah.
clairvoyant even.
Well, like to the
Did they
point,
know at that point?
the person who gave him the debt, I believe so. And that's why they immediately are like, cool, we're transferring the debt to people over there so that we don't even have to worry about enforcing it. They'll want it because it's, you know,
Right. But did this was something that had already happened and he didn't know about it?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So then there was no collusion effectively. This was just them taking advantage of the shit. They caught us with our thing here. All right, well, we'll fuck this guy over.
Who knows? Maybe the
this,
reason
yeah.
that the expedition isn't going north is because, oh, hey, there's mercenaries along the road and we need to deal with that. You know, like it could be any number of things.
Yeah, partially the exposition regarding the mercenaries and the wolves and the forest route and everything feels like the ticket is that if you got basically enough people, you could basically deal with the wolf problem or the mercenary problem or what have you.
Sure.
If you armed enough people to go and take them to task there, and then you could pay
Right.
people basically for the,
And
we'll set up a militia or something and
that could
do
also
this, but that doesn't necessarily pay you 1,300 Trinity
Yep.
silver. It pays you like a little bit. But
and that could also maybe be the reason why Lawrence didn't hear about it because oh hey, people aren't going between the cities. And so, you know, there's the people that are like established that are in the know, but like if
Yeah.
you're not from town, you know,
or you don't have regular contacts over
yeah,
there
yeah,
because of
exactly.
business
It's
or
just the
something.
the information travels that extra bit slower. Cool, you know, and of course, even
Right.
profit aside, you know, it's the this person figured out our deal.
Yeah, let's.
Oh yeah,
Let's get
and
him.
he's gonna squeeze us. Okay,
Yeah, we're not telling him anything.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of fun that in a lot of ways the actions connected to this were ones connected to the kind of cocky but also like kind of comical actions of our main two characters. Like they were very much riding the high of haha, we caught you with this thing here. And then rather than taking their win and going, they went for credit, which I get that they did that.
Well,
but
and I think the implication is, and I could be wrong about this, but I think it's that because he specifically said I want credit for double the value of the thing, he basically is like cool, and then so he doesn't like even though he does have the money of the selling of the pepper, he doesn't have the money for the other half of it.
no,
and so it's
of course.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's more
Okay.
than he could ever, make in a day,
Right.
basically.
Exactly.
It's the point that he went for in some ways something that feels like it felt like even a nice form of extortion. It didn't feel like the kind of thing of where
Sure.
it's the
And yet because it's you'll still get your money and everything, but basically I'm extorting you for cash flow so that way I can actually do the thing where I make the profit because that's what we do.
Right.
But he got greedy because what he could have done
Yes.
is said, I want it for the value of the goods sold.
Yes.
That way he's never truly in the red. If he needs to, he can pay it off. Right.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
I'm,
and then he's
yeah.
not actually like risking, something that he
right. So he
can't afford to
took
lose.
on risk for the equivalent of a reward.
Right.
Which I think now that I'm looking back on it, I'm like, wait, that's really stupid. And really unnecessary. With how well you basically caught them in this act here, you could have asked for more.
Well,
and they
and-
wouldn't have necessarily sent people to kill you or anything.
And you did make a shit ton of money off of the deal in general, right? So like the 1,300 Trenny silver or about what it came to from the pepper, right?
That was the underselling deal as well.
Right,
Remember?
exactly.
That was
So-
with the thing slanted. So.
Yeah. So it's you did not need to go for oh, I'm going to get this whole thing on double of it
Sure.
or whatever, right? Like, yeah.
You could have just been like, and based on this profit, give me, suits of armor equivalent to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or give me a very good deal on the suits of armor that I want from this.
Right.
And then trade it up again so it's the, okay, cool, now you have
make
5
your
suits
margins
of
a little
armor
bit better
or
or
something.
something. Yeah,
instead.
exactly.
And then it's just the, no debt, you just don't have any money outside of the suit of armor,
Right.
Or
Yeah.
maybe other than your pocket change, you get to hire shepherds to take care of you across ways and
Exactly.
stuff.
Yep.
But I do like the idea that while they're going around and trying to figure this out, Holo has kind of shifted perspective to, oh shit, I might not ever see this guy again if this goes badly.
Yep.
But she doesn't know what to do, so she's kind of panicking like, well, I'll try and think, but...
Me saving him would basically ruin his life because while he'd be saved from indentured servitude, he would never be a merchant again, basically.
Well, not only he would never be a merchant again, he would never be able to return to civilization again.
Sure.
At least anywhere near here,
Yeah.
he'd be a criminal. They'd find him and then they'd string him up. Like,
Yep.
it'd just be...
At best, you whisk him away somewhere where he could sell the armor and actually get the money and then be like, hey, I'm late, but I still got the money and there you go.
Right.
But
now, there's some fun things that we can do here. I want to talk the fantastical really quick.
okay.
Holo is a supernatural large wolf thing.
She could take him somewhere real fast.
I was going to say she could get through any kind of barrier
Yes, that
really
too.
quickly. I'm want to talk about moving quickly. She has wheat. And I don't think she can move herself and armor and or Lawrence.
Yeah.
But she could get somewhere rather quickly and get information.
Possibly. Yeah.
And we don't know necessarily what kind of wheat needs to be, used in order to use her very nebulously, not very well explained wheat powers and stuff.
to say nothing of the idea that these people here that are merchants that are like, okay, you're fucked, basically.
Yes.
And so we're going to distance ourselves from you. They're going off of basically mundane strategies for things, right?
Yeah,
you
totally.
know, if there is some way that he could, okay, here it's no good, but if you got it over to this place, somehow made a 5-day trip in, a day and a half or something.
He would have to negotiate with them I have a sure thing. If you'll basically let me make the trip, I will then, be under your supervision.
Right.
And they said no extensions, which I believe they're not going to give extensions. But if they go in you want to give us more debt, basically, like you trade up basically on even the debt, and then it's I'll go into further debt with you in order to get this up here. Then it's oh, well, maybe we'll consider that. But we'll have
But they also desperately need the money because
because their market just crashed.
So the fact that basically he's backed by this other trading group, right? The people that are basically his home, they would get their money, and then he would just have to then pay off his trading company over the next 10 years or whatever, right? So now, thankfully, this world has won with the infrastructure and the trade guilds where you could basically pay it off probably with like in a different location, like in the same way that they transferred the debt.
You can't move that fast in a day.
No, yeah, exactly.
So the issue is with the investment that he's made with the shepherd, with Nora, he needs to cash in that investment right now.
Somehow.
And that's the only thing I can see that would give him the ability to make a serious amount of money anytime soon.
They do a gold heist because there's all that sacramental gold or whatever that's, I don't know. We're desperate.
I really find it odd though that they would give him such a short time limit.
Yeah,
I do find that a bit arbitrary and ridiculous.
That is a bit ridiculous.
And also it would be bad business because debt is very valuable.
Yeah, it's
maybe this is also just the medieval times that they're in, but they actually don't have the capacity to really enforce debt.
Yeah, I think it's the thing of, the dude was wanting to screw him over, but I think it's also the thing of we don't necessarily have a way of finding you, he could theoretically go to ground and disappear and become someone else and just live out in the wild, like in at like a village somewhere, right?
No, totally. I get that, but it's would you rather, give up your life of, beyond lower means, basically, with being a merchant and having that little bit of freedom and that little bit of potential good winnings of earnings and stuff that then has you living not in squalor or what have you.
Sure.
So I get that, but the idea that here's your first payment. You have 2 days to make up 20%. And that's going to give us enough time, and then we will give you interest charging. Here's this contract. Sign it, or we kill you and put you in slavery. Or put you in slavery right now.
If you pay us enough, you can earn the privilege of interest.
Right.
Wait,
no, he already wrote up the contract of the debt, so they already have the terms equivalent for it. So the idea of it being 2 days, again, it does feel arbitrary.
That's one thing where I'm like, I feel like that doesn't make sense.
Or maybe it's just a thing that would be exposited in the light novel of this is how the laws of this world work.
And the reason why I could see that being the case is with if he did actually run, they don't really have a way to get him back. They could punish him, but they wouldn't actually get their money. And so with things like this, they make sure that it's short turnarounds, basically.
Yeah, I just don't see the value basically in having a system where if people are about to basically default on their debt, which they do have good reason to believe he's going to default on it entirely. There's no way he's going to make this kind of money. It feels more petty than it does actually good business. Because then it's the message is, no, fuck this guy. Take the debt.
That's that. Well, and I think that's what it would end up being, because then it's based around the whole guild thing, right? He's got his company that he's with, and you're with this company. Maybe you pay some fee or whatever, right? As a result of that, you have us for name recognition and things like that, but then also knowing you won't renege on a deal, right? People can know if I trade with this person, even if they wanted to screw me over or are a scumbag or whatever, their company will reimburse me, and then they'll take care of cleaning up their own house, right?
That's a good point.
And so then it's more of a motivation thing for the other people within the company, hence the whole thing of nope.
But they did willingly take on the debt.
No, yeah, absolutely. Wait.
Yeah. The debt was moved over here.
No.
It's all the same company.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. So there's the person that he traded with. He had the debt to them.
Right.
They then transferred the debt to the people over here, right?
Yeah, part of the same company.
No, right. No. But I'm not talking about that company. I'm talking about Lawrence's trade company.
No, I get that. I'm talking about the way in which... okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're talking about there.
So the person that he dealt with transferred the debt over, basically gave the debt over to this company that he's now dealing with, where the crashed market is. They're very interested in having it. They're in a location where he's going to be, so the enforcement of it is probably a lot easier.
Okay.
And then the company that Lawrence is officially associated with, that's the one that will pay it out, and then they just make sure that if any of our people default on stuff, we get the money back so that we're in the black, but then also in the punishing fuck you kind of way, it's don't fuck us over because we're backing you.
So what you're saying, because I don't think I got this, is that the company that has the guy, the guy that he's connected with right now, is going to pay out his debt when he defaults on it. They're going to settle.
Yeah.
And then we'll sell him effectively to pay off
what they paid for it. Yeah.
Right. But the debt moved to another group over here. So that debt is something that I guess I'm just surprised that they're a part of the same company. The two companies. No. There's no. Hold on. Okay. Now you're not understanding me, I think. Right. Lawrence's company, forget them.
Yep.
There's the company that he got the armor from by screwing them over with the thing there. That's the same company that then moved the debt over here. Right?
I mean, they had the debt and then they moved it, but they wouldn't have. It is a different entity that has it now, because otherwise they wouldn't have moved it, right?
Well, that's my question.
That would just be who he would have
Well,
owed it
no. That's my question. Because if it's a simple question of enforcing it, then they're just passing the responsibility of, you guys have to clear this up because he's in this area here.
Right.
But if you give debt to another company, like, what's the value in that?
Well, they probably paid for it, right? Like it's hey, we have a debt here that's a sure thing. Like they probably have some contact from the company. I'm guessing. This is all my, supposition, right? But anytime someone transfers debt, it's in exchange for something else, right? It's still a business deal. And so then you have whatever the debt is valued at, but I'm guessing this debt was probably very valuable because it's the one we know that's where he's going, so it'll be easy to collect on it. It is somebody who's backed, so you will get your money. This guy will be screwed, but you will actually get your money. And it's a crashed market, so he definitely won't be paying it off.
No, I get that. But if he didn't show up here, then they would have been responsible for paying off that debt.
They? Who's they?
The company that took the debt on, basically.
No, because he owes them. They would pay money to themselves? No.
Well, you said they paid for the debt.
Sure. So they would have already paid for it.
Right.
With whatever they did, whether it was 1-to-1 or, at some reduced rate.
No, totally. But
right.
But it was a
And then when they need to get the money, then they'd be like, "Oh, this dude never actually even showed up. He was supposed to show up and he didn't. I know he's affiliated with this company. Hey, you need to blacklist this dude and find him and get your money back, but you're also paying us because,
Yeah. I guess I have more just issue with this. Feels a little bit arbitrary.
The timing of it, for sure.
Well, that I hadn't even got into that. I was going to get into that. But the idea that they also went through the shortcut that has the dangerous spot, but then that person went the other way, that's the safe way, the longer way, and got there before them.
Well, right. And the explanation that we currently have of no, we actually got in town like a day or two ago, and they've been kind of just having fun and faffing about before not immediately going and selling the stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that also feels a bit odd.
Yeah. It's just the kind of thing where I'm I get the result here. Mm-hmm. Part of the exposition that brought us here, I feel is a bit too arbitrary for my liking, because I genuinely love the struggle that this puts our characters into. And I like the relationship drama that this is going to pull out of it, but it's so ridiculously difficult for Lawrence to pull off that I'm
why did he sign up for this in the first place?
Well, not just why did he sign up for this in the first place, but if this is the way that debt works, why did he specifically wait 2 days?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, there's several things that kind of stack up and feel weird.
It just feels like it's the kind of thing where Lawrence is oh cool, I can pay this off whenever, except if they want the money, and then it suddenly becomes 2 days, which I guess is more we know you can't pay it, so this was not a part of the contract. This is a part of just a unilateral law decision that we can make as the debt holders.
Some element of if there is not
if we have considerable reasonable,
that you will basically renege on the debt.
Then we can enact the
sure,
call this
the emergency, get the money.
Right. Which is, yes, that could totally be a thing, and I don't need to have that spelled out for me. I feel like there's just a few too many things stacked on top of each other that I can follow the logic of it, but I just don't. Right. I don't think it's really great logic.
I like the stuff that this show does when it brings up wait, what about this? And it's if it was easy, everybody would, fuck with the church for the gold and all that stuff.
And also and I can't lend you money, Lawrence, here, because then that would encourage the same type of behavior with other merchants.
Exactly.
Once he said that, I was thank you.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
That's not just really smart from a world building standpoint.
It would feel weird if that wasn't the case.
It would feel weird if it wasn't brought up.
Sure.
Just the idea that Lawrence is no, I understand that.
Yep.
And so he's a good guy being Lawrence, I would totally lend you the money, but I have to be a smart business person. I have to,
and I have to
follow
also be a leader of an organization.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And
so there's a lot of things in the world building that are just really tight and they make sense.
Like the deadline thing that would have been, if there is one, because it's possible that there isn't, and it's the, hey, we're going to do this cool thing. The deadline thing, we'll just have to chalk that up to Lawrence being really greedy and cocky and all that stuff.
I think there was also just a little bit of the fun of, and we can tie this into the Holo side of things because we've been spending a lot of time talking about this here, is that he was having so much fun just getting to be with Holo and going around the markets and stuff. I don't think that they showed us basically having them spend a couple days in town, like visually.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it.
It didn't really seem like it. But I totally buy they were there for a day or a night.
At the very
or
least,
you.
right? You get there the first night. Oh, big city. It'll take a while to get there.
Yeah.
You know,
and maybe
exploring. You take a while to get there the day of because you're getting all the stuff along the way.
Right. I'm gonna show off different areas of the town. Totally. Right. But that then adds into the fun of Holo is feeling like a little bit of this being her fault. Right. Okay.
Down to the point where the one person is like, no, I would help you, but you brought a woman here, you know.
Hey, again, adding to my idea that he doesn't have Riz, because man would show up with a woman as a merchant? That's just so...
Well, no, I think it was more of a, because he was using a lot of things of like, the church and all that stuff. So I think it was more of the, like, you are, you know, living in sin or something like that, you know.
I think it's more the idea that it's, like, he doesn't know if this is his wife or not.
No, I'm guessing he's assuming it's not.
Well, I'd say there's a better answer to assume here is that it's you're needing the money because of her. It has nothing to do with with regards to your business. It's that you have become a not frugal, not so, dedicated merchant. You're slipping on your game here.
Right. Clearly, like,
I can see where the money is going.
Right, exactly.
I can see why you have money problems.
Like, and I like that he did bring up the thing of hey, dude, the market crashed. You're not clairvoyant.
No.
Nobody could know that, right? Like the whole thing that Lawrence said.
It sounded like he was also like, this
thing.
hurt me too.
Yeah, like a lot of people got screwed by this. That's not their fault, right? Like you made, well, he didn't bring up the greedy angle, but the armor thing, yeah, that sucks, dude. Like that really sucks. But what's this?
Yeah, and in some ways, while the guy being almost unreasonable that he doesn't ask questions or anything about that, he is also maybe using this a little bit as the...
I can take the moral high ground of, I would.
I am a good person, and I want to build relationship with you in case you do come out with this just fine. But I don't want to take that risk on you. Ultimately, and here's a great reason for it. Yeah. Or maybe kind of a shitty reason, but
it's a reason.
It's a reason, and thus that's enough for me to slam the door in your face.
And hence also, theoretically, this not having to be anything special, but because Lawrence was basically given that bit of like hope when he's like desperate, and then it's taken away from him and blamed on Holo, then it's the, it makes sense that something like that would happen because people will come up with all kinds of excuses to not, like when suddenly...
I'd love to go to your wedding, but I just...
right. When the money's going both ways, it's like, all right, this is great.
My cat's dentist,
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then it's like, wow. I have places to be.
And it is a fun thing to see the peers of Lawrence be so self-serving in this moment as well. Understanding that, there's no honor among thieves, basically.
Right. Like, we're a bunch of wolves here.
And basically what they all are is very litigious, not thieves, but you're movers of things, and trying to screw over each other,
exactly.
very respectfully.
It's very cutthroat, it's rules of nature stuff,
Right.
Oh, hey.
So in that respect, I like that Holo now has a little bit of a frame of reference for then how maybe generous Lawrence is too when compared to the average merchant.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's probably not doing this because you're just cute, or even you're a great investment, or even because, he's been really lonely and talking to his horse and stuff. It's probably just because he's also a pretty cool guy.
Sure.
Like, just actually a pretty decent guy.
You know? But he still has to be a
But he
merchant.
still has to be a
You know?
merchant, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's,
All that being said,
right, it's the thing that he was saying of you can take the what's it, I forget the word, and eat it with that bread, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, you take your honor
and
eat it with the bread. Tell me how that tastes.
Exactly. And I love how like we get to see as a result of this something that I don't like hardly ever see in like romance stories. Hey, finances can be a real bitch of a strain on the relationship, can't they?
Yeah.
You know, like that's not usually something that comes up. That's not usually like exciting or romantic or anything like that.
Oh, meaning it comes up in the fictional stories?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it does. It's just more in the dramas rather than the romances, if that makes sense.
Sure.
In the existing relationship, we're going to have it fall apart because of reasons.
There will also be the things where they bring up the spending money on something or whatever, as opposed to like, hey, no, we are specifically in trouble because of finances.
Right.
There's a bunch of other trouble with the relationship, and that just makes it worse.
But to add into that, though, I think the reason why is because romances are typically not about established relationships.
Sure.
They're about relationships that are trying to get to the established point.
Which is one of the reasons why it's so fun with these two, because one, they're
economics
adults.
is the conflict.
Economics is still the conflict. Yes, that too. And maybe as a result of that, they can have all of this flirty banter where they'll even mention things of like I mean, if you were my wife, that'd be a different situation.
Very different situation.
But you probably don't want to do that, right? That'd be a huge hassle. And it's like they can bring stuff up like that when they haven't even like kissed or anything, because
they've held hands though.
They've held no interlocked fingers though.
And they've basically slept together too. I mean.
Now they just need to actually sleep together, but maybe once they get a whole lot of money.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussions. A lot of drama and fun this episode. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.